Hurricane came through yesterday and the day before, so the water on the lake here is way up. So nice to be out here, alone with my thoughts. I hope everybody gets something like this in their life, something that serves this function, to be in a groove, a rhythm, getting balance between the right and left halves of the brain. To balance what's inside you and what's outside you. To allow your inner child to kind of take over. Glide with grace. To be so completely absorbed in a peaceful moment. The fish jumped just up ahead of me. So peaceful that you can't help but feel good. Inevitable. What in your life leads to inevitable inner peace? And I say this because we are definitely in a wild year. More than half the countries in the world are having elections this year. And the one that is happening right here in America, the battle for the Oval Office, is brewing. As far as I can tell, nobody's real happy with the state of affairs. There are no John F. Kennedys available to vote for unless you vote for an independent party. Maybe someday that'll be what people go for. Maybe people will get brave enough eventually to allow for something different, something you didn't expect, something outside of the normal party system. Because so far, it's led to politicians who just sort of say what the party wants, say what the corporations want, and they're kind of slaves to that power even outside of themselves. And that's not what we wanted, is it? As a people. I think we wanted something quite different. I think what we intended originally was for a great person to put many great heads together as a leader of a team. Not a king. It just tells everybody what to do. Not somebody who's single-minded, self-serving, somebody who serves all of us. All of us. And that is a very diverse group. 250 50 million people all over the world trying to make it together in this particular country. And of course, this is one of many countries, all looking for peace, prosperity, well-being. And we all have different ideas for what that looks like. That's tricky, isn't it? Especially if what your best case scenario looks like conflicts with what somebody else wants. And you think it's your job to judge them. It's falling short of not behaving the way you want. No, I don't think that's what civilization's all about. I think civilization is about acceptance, about allowing people to be as they are as long as they're not hurting others. And that scope of possibility is wide and vast. And for us to reach some kind of acceptance with each other, I think we need to acknowledge that our way is not the only way. That our programmed ideas that we have called our own are not the only truth. There's a common truth, though, that we do agree on. We agree upon the idea of freedom. We agree upon the ideas of being kind. We agree upon the idea that there actually is enough to go around. That one's a little trickier, because the idea of poverty, the mindset of lack, is not what the country is based on. Indeed, country is based on is abundance. So where did we get this idea that there's not enough? Certainly enough to wage trillion-dollar wars. There's enough to pay senators and congressmen. Poverty mentality starts at home. It starts with doubt. The certainty that we can't give up. The certainty that your vote is pointless. That your ideas won't go anywhere. They're helpless and hopeless. And when you take a closer look at the idea of America, what it's built on. When we take a closer look at how we are distorting that idea with new ideas, ideas that were fed to us, ideas that we digested and ingested, like your ideas don't matter. Of course they matter. You have lived a life and learned. You've attained wisdom. We all have. And if we don't speak up, that wisdom stays only within your own mind, maybe within your small circle of friends, family, that you voice your truth to. But that's as far as it goes, because we are lost in fear as a society. We did it to ourselves, We're consuming ideas and storylines that make us want to cower, that make us want to be quiet, because some people, many people, still believe in attack. They still believe it is within their right to be righteously judgmental. They believe that if they shout louder, they'll somehow be victorious and get rid of that dissent, that differing perspective. But they can't silence all of us. The loud, screaming meanies, they're out there. And we don't have to bow to their whims. It's not necessary for us to believe that we have to be powerless. It's not necessary to shut up when you're inconveniently speaking your truth. You can tell your story in a way that is confident in your own knowing. Confident that your logic makes sense. Now, of course, there is always the risk of finding yourself in a judgmental space when you're speaking up. And so I ask you to ask yourself, prior to taking your stand, is this idea that I'm so passionately connected to from me, from my own knowing? And is this idea that I feel so fervorously, so powerfully in my body, is it compassionate and is it connected? And compassion isn't just for you and yours, yearn, as they say in some places. Is it for everybody? Is it a truth that is something you can extrapolate to all of humanity? Or is it just a conditional truth, a lowercase t truth? If you're judging others in your implementation of your truth in a way that discounts their perspective, you're engaged in a battle. May not be directly. You may never meet those people that you're so mad at. Those people you're waging war within your own mind in a way that is bringing you down. Quit it. Stop being what you hate in others. And recognize when you're trying to manipulate others and control them because you don't feel in control. Notice it. And realize that these kinds of thoughts don't exactly originate with you. What I mean by you is your true self, your higher self, the place that resides within all of us at the root of our consciousness, that knows that love is the way, knows that all are one, all are valuable and holy and equal. There's another part of us, part of our minds, it stems from the body. It stems from the fear that you're going to die. And you may get horribly sick and injured. That you may end up alone. And you may be abused and controlled. That fear one that makes us leverage our control over others. That's the ego mind. The ego mind is caught up in fear and drama, and gets obsessed with seeing things outside of ourselves that must be destroyed, things that we do not wish to tolerate in ourselves, and yet in the warring we become that which we hate. So when we recognize that we're caught up in the ego's battleground, that our minds are taking us away from the fruitful place of love's courage, not the courage to do dangerous things, not the courage to risk life and limb, the courage to be yourself and nurture that in others, the courage to see that others are just like us, the courage to allow them to be different in the way that they live, because their spirit of creativity, autonomy, and sovereignty is just coming through in a different way, different life story. It's not wrong, it's just different. And when you get that, when you fully understand that everybody is you in another body, with another set of rules created by a specific experience, their relationships, their experiences are sculpting a perspective, a persona, and a set of values and ideals, and those may evolve into something that looks quite different from yours. And that's specific to their individual experience. Be happy to admit that there's times when somebody passes me aggressively on the road and I have an instant of judgment, where I'm furious for just a moment. And then I realize it's not really me that's furious. It's my body, triggered by the programs. The programs of how to act when I'm angry, how to fight against injustice. There's no love there. And then I wake up in that moment. I wake up from the program. Normalcy, if you will. The normalizing of aggression, of separation. And then I take a deep breath. And I exhale it out as not of my own doing. It was just something that my mind experienced. And my mind is partly me and partly the program. It's a society within me. And love is super societal. It transcends all borders, all philosophies. Because it's truth with a capital T. Compassion and love is truth. We know that. You don't have to teach a child that love and compassion is the way. They can feel it. Truth has a feeling to it. Half-truths, they can make you feel many, many ways. And get you frothing at the mouth, looking for vilification and vindication. So recognize that your mind is more than one source of thoughts. And One is a liar, trying to justify why it's okay to be cruel. And the other's not. Which one do you want to believe? I choose love.
I can see laughter, or I can see tears. I see a choice, love or fear. What do you choose? I can see peace, or I can see war. I can see sunshine, or I can see a storm. What do you choose? Now I choose the love where freedom flies from my heart, where the light keeps shining. And I choose to feel the whole world crying for the strength that we can rise above. I choose love. I choose love. I can see sharing, or I can see greed. I can see caring, or poverty. So what do you choose? I can see gardens, or I can see bombs. I can see life or death coming on strong. So what do you choose? Now I choose the love where freedom flies from my heart, where the light keeps shining. And I choose to feel the whole world crying for the strength that we can rise above. I choose love. I choose love. I see us healing, darkness dying. I see us dawning as one world
helpless.
united.
I will choose again and again and again for all eternity to let go of those thoughts. I will choose again and again and again to search for connection, search for understanding. Some people live a very different life than you do. Is that wrong? Or is that exactly what was intended? Isn't that what human beings are for? To explore vast diversity? To be different and creative? I believe that's the truth. And I believe that when we allow ourselves to accept others who are walking a different path than we are, we're stretching larger. Because when you look through somebody else's eyes, when they're looking in a different direction, you get a new perspective on the world.
I choose love. Woo! I choose love.
The forest is quite rejuvenated due to human effort, and the species have become far more diverse than before because of human effort, and we really are healing the land, and that is a truly beautiful thing. Do you choose love right now? If you do, I thank you.